Welcome to this presentation about bblock. We'll try to introduce you this new tool, which will help you to lock your Yocto recipes and save your time. So here is a quick agenda of the presentation. I will do a quick introduction about Belieber, about me, and about bblock. Then we will see the workflow for Yocto developers and our real life. You know, when you do a small change and bblock decide to rebuild everything. Then we will have a look at the locking mechanism in Yocto, and we will see that everything is already there. Then we will talk about bblock, how we can take advantage of the Yocto mechanisms to lock recipes efficiently. And then as a conclusion, I will try to give you some hints and advices on when to use and not to use a bblock. And we will do a quick overview of what will be the next step for bblock. So about Belieber, it is an open source consultancy company specialized in embedded systems like the Linux kernel, Yocto, U-boot, Zephyr. We are also doing a little bit of hardware design. And as of 2024, so this year, we now have a compiler and toolchain team. We are based in France, in Nice, but we have a global presence all over the world in the UK, Canada, America, Italy, Germany, and more. We are a Linux Foundation member, and we do have a lot of Linux, Yocto, U-boot, Zephyr contributors, and even maintainers. And in case you want to know more about Belieber, you can just go on the website, belieber.com. About me, I'm an embedded Linux developer. I'm based in Avignon, France, which is only 2 hours and a half driving from Nice.
Me too. I didn't know that.
I'm an open source lover since I started school, like 10 years ago. And I joined Belieber in February 2019, so it's like 6 years ago. And if I go more specific about Yocto stuff, I'm a Yocto user since I joined Belieber, so 6 years ago. And I'm now a regular contributor, since a year. And I mostly contributed on DevTool stuff. And of course, I'm a bblock author and maintainer. So about bblock, it was merged upstream in September 2023. So it is almost 1 year old. It is a new bblock tool. It was released first in NaN build, but NaN build not being an LTS. I guess most Yocto user does not know about bblock. So here is a good occasion to present it to you. And now it is part of ScarceGap, which is an LTS, so hopefully more and more people will use it. A maintainer is me. The main job of bblock is to lock tasks and recipes. And for the story, Bugzilla ticket was opened by Richard in 2019, so when I started to use bblock as a user. So it was 6 years ago, meaning that the community wanted to have such a tool for a long time. And it was tagged as a newcomer's bug, and it was the first bug I tried to implement. So not a small one. So now, let's talk about the real life of Yocto developers and our workflow. So as Yocto developers, what we do is we do some changes to a recipe, and then we start bblock. And then bblock will compute everything. And most of the time, you know, unless it is a first build, it will be very long. But when you are doing your development, you know the compilation time will be too small to switch on something else, okay? But it was too long to wait in front of your screen. So what do we do as Yocto developers? We have several options. I'm sure some of you will recognize themselves. We take a break. We have some coffee, maybe a nap. And you know, our break is often longer than the compilation time itself. You can see it. Yeah, I'm not going to judge you, don't worry. And then we do a test. And yeah, before being Yocto developers, we are more regular developers, and as all developers in the world, we never do the right thing in the first place. So we have to do again the changes, and again, and have another nap or another coffee, and that's life, you know. And there is an XKCD comics I really like, and I'm pretty much sure you all know it. It describes yeah, it's very our life as Yocto developers, you know. Okay, not code is not compiling, but bitbake is running. But yeah, that's life. So I wanted to show you how we can use bblock in our daily life. So I want to have this real life example. I want to customize my Python banner on my interpreter. So I want to add welcome to the awesome daily Python interpreter. So something fancy and not too hard. So for that, I will use this environment, a Poky distribution, QEMU x86 machine, core image minimal, latest scarce gap release. And the only tweak I did to the default configuration was to add Python 3 to my image. And then I started my development. I added this small patch, you know, to Python 3 source code, which is just adding a printf statement, so nothing really hard. And I added this patch to Python 3 recipe. And that's it. So one line here, one line to the source code, and just rebuild my image. And 14 minutes later, I was able to run my QEMU interpreter to see my, my awesome Python banner. And here it is. Oh, wait. I just realized I forgot a new line character. And it took me 14 minutes to realize that. And you know, it was 14 minutes because I'm using a big build server. If I tried to do it on my computer, it was like 45 minutes. And obviously more coffee, because I can't use my computer when it's building on it. So yeah, why is it so long to just rebuild and add a small printf like this one, and a shitty one, by the way? So why is it so long? Because the changes I did triggered change in Python 3 recipe, obviously, but also in Python 3 native recipe. And a lot of recipes depend on Python 3 native. And when I decided to rebuild my full image, bitbake decided to rebuild all packages depending on Python 3 native. And yeah, it took a long time. So what if we could have a way to tell bitbake to not rebuild some recipes? I mean, in this example, we can understand that you know, you don't have to rebuild Python 3 native and all packages depending on it, just to add a printf in my Python interpreter on the target, right? So that would be awesome if we could do that. So let's have a look at the locking mechanism in Yocto and what is already there. So first, let's talk about task signatures and state. So when you start bitbake, it will compute the signature of all tasks that are needed to build your target. So the signature of a task is a checksum of the task inputs. Inputs of tasks can be the body of the task itself, but also some user variables such as src URI, or maybe some machine variable, or maybe the depending graphs of tasks. So if you modify the do fetch task, it will have to rebuild the do compile, do install, do package, etc., etc. So all are the input of the task. There is a checksum, and this gives you the signature of the tasks. So at startup, it will compute the signature, and it will compare them with the one in state. Obviously, if it's your first build, you don't have state, so you will have to compute everything from scratch. But if you already did one, you have state, and any difference from the newly computed signature and the one from state will cause the task to be rerun. And otherwise, you can use a cached output. And this is great, and it works well for incremental build. You know, when you modify your recipe, and all these recipes does not have any link between them, so you don't want to rebuild this, and this is great. But bitbake decided by itself And sometimes there is a small link, and you know it is safe to not rebuild all these recipes. So you just want to tell bblock, okay, don't do this. So how can we do that? How can we force bblock to use the S state even if signature change? So as I told you, there is everything in Yocto, and in particular there are these three variables, variable 1, 2, and 3. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce them because it will be a pain for me and for you, so trust me. So I will name them variable 1, 2, and 3. Variable 1 is the most important one because it is the one that will actually specify the signature you want for a given task of a given package. Variable 2 is the allowed overrides for the variable 1. And it is mainly used to lock signature per architecture. And the third one, which is optional, will control the verbosity in the output when you lock recipes or tasks. Currently, these three variables are not documented yet, and it is part of my to-do list. I'm trying to improve documentation about that. Thank you. So here is an example how we can use variable 1, 2, and 3 to lock a specific task. So here is a do patch task from BC for a QEMU x86 machine. So here we are, the three variables. But how can we use it in practice? I mean, you're not going to build and compute the signature by yourself, you know. I told you every bblock and Yocto has everything to do it for us. And in particular, you can use this command, bblock-S locket6 target, to generate a file that will contain all the signature of all the tasks that needed to build your target. So here is an extract of this file. I built it for BC recipe. You can see that BC depends on AT-tier package. So we have all the AT-tier tasks with their signature, and BC obviously, and this file is quite long, so just an extract. And there is this wiki page. Here you can check to have full information about this command. But unfortunately, it is not up to date, and it is also part of my to-do list to update it with more accurate information. I promise I will do it. But bblock-S has some drawbacks. So first, it is more commonly used to share a full estate for a complete build. And you have to use it with another tool. This one, I'm not going to pronounce it either. It is documented on the wiki page I showed you before, so you can go and see. The generated file locket.inc must be manually included inside conf. So user has to manually include this file. So typically in its local.conf file. This file can be more about 1,000 lines for a single package, and it is much more if you build it for a complete image. And according to the wiki page I showed you just before, you can use this file to lock a single recipe or even a single task, which is what we want to do, right? But users have to manually extract the line from this file, which is around 1,000 lines, and with variables that are unknown and undocumented. So it's really not user-friendly, right? So here comes bblock to help you in this task. So bblock is here to address some drawback. So first thing to know, it is not a wrapper around bblock-S. It is a standalone Python script that is using Tinfoil API to talk to bblock. It can generate signature for a single package or even a single task, so you won't have this huge 1,000 lines file. It will generate only the signature you want. And for the story, when I upstreamed bblock, it was not possible to extract only one signature from bblock. So I added some new API from, and the Tinfoil API accordingly to be able to retrieve only one signature from a single task. Output is written in build.conf bblock.conf file, which is already included in bitbake.conf, so user does not have to manually include the generated file inside its configuration. Everything will be transparent for the user. It is really, really easy to use, as I will show you in a couple of minutes. It is only a single command to run, and everything is done for you. And signatures are also architecture specific, which can be very useful. As for the three variable and the wiki page, bblock is not documented yet. So all you have is the help message and hopefully this presentation now. But it is also on my to-do list to add some documentation somewhere. I don't know yet where, but you have the help message right now. As you can see, it is really easy to use, just a space-separated list of recipe to lock, and a 3 switch, the task switch if you want to lock a single task, a reset switch if you want to unlock recipes, and a dump switch if you want to dump the generated file. And that's it for now. I hope we will have some more options later in the future. So here is how you can use bblock to lock do compile task from BC. You will see I use a lot BC because it is really easy to type, no typo, and it compiles very quickly. So just run bblock bc and -t do compile. That's it. Takes a few seconds to run. And if you want to look at the generated file, you can use the dump switch. And you can see it's only 4 lines with variable 3, 2, and 1. And it computed the signature for you. So you just have to run one single command. But how can I be sure that the task is locked? You can trust me, or you can test. You can use -C, or you can update do compile body of task from BC. And you will now have these 2 new lines. So the first one is a note stating that we have locked tasks from several recipes. Here we have only BC. And the second one says that the do compile signature is computed to be something, but the signature is locked to something else. And at the end, we can see that he attempted to run a lot of tasks, and none was rebuilt, and all succeeds, so nothing was done. If I have time at the end of the presentation, I will try to do a live demo so we can see that in action. If you want to unlock BC, you just have to run bblock -rbc, or if you omit everything, it will unlock all recipes at once. That's pretty convenient. So now let's go back to our Yocto workflow. So we are still Yocto developer, right? So we will still do some change to recipe. But before doing that, now we have a new tool, which is bblock. And before doing any change, we will lock recipes that we know for sure that it is safe to lock. It is important to do it before doing the changes. Then we start bitbake. And then, obviously, we still have to wait for completion, but it should be faster, right? So you won't have time for another nap or another coffee, I'm sorry. Maybe you will have time to read a quick XKCD comic, but no more. And then you will have to test again. And you are now super Yocto developer, but you are not super developer anyway. So you will still have to do your fix again. I'm sorry. But at least the loop will be faster now. So we can update this new XKCD. So yeah, you can't legitimately slack off by saying that bitbake is now compiling, because the time you ask for it, it is already done. So back to my customization of Python banner. So first things I need to do is to lock Python 3 native recipe. So just run bblock Python 3 native. That's it. Then I add this new line character in my patch. and start the build again. And it took me only 1.5 minutes to rebuild the full image, compared to the 14 minutes before, to rebuild the image. And that it's a game changer, sorry. So 1 minute compared to 14. So here it is, my new interpreter with my new line character. So I'm so proud of it. Just took me 1 day, but yeah. So let me try to give you some hints and advice on how to use bblock. So first things I want to highlight is that bblock is intended to be used during development phase. So please don't forget to unlock your recipes before delivering and rebuild everything from scratch. Yeah, this is really important. If you need to share a full estate, you should still use bblock-S. Maybe in the future, this option will be removed from bblock command line and be merged into bblock, but until then, you should use bblock-S to share the full estate. Bblock is right now only used to lock a single recipe or few recipes. You also need to make sure that you really want to lock a recipe. So if you modify a recipe and it rebuilds a lot of stuff, and you don't know why, you may be tempted to lock these recipes, but it may not be a good idea. You should first follow this guide to understand what changed, and yeah, because if bblock rebuilds stuff, it's because there are maybe some good reason to do that. So unless you are pretty much sure it is safe to lock, you should just first follow this guide, and then, if you think it's a good idea, you should lock your recipe. You should also check that if locking a recipe is the correct thing to do. I'm pretty much sure in the audience, some of you noticed that I used bblock for something it was not meant for. I mean, I should have applied my patch only for class target, right? And this would have saved my time recompiling Python 3 native recipes. So I did it on purpose for the fun, but you have so many ways to do stuff in Yocto, so you should choose the correct one. bblock comes with a lot of other tools, and there is this devtool deploy command I really like, which help you to save a lot of time during development phase when you just want to rebuild some packages and deploy it on the target. This is avoiding to rebuild a lot of stuff. But sometimes, unfortunately, some recipes don't build under devtool, and sometimes you just don't have a way to deploy on the target. So bblock can be an alternative to the devtool deploy command, but maybe you can use it also instead of locking recipes. So what's next? I would like to improve output formatting of bblock.conf. Right now, each new signature is added in a new line, like this. So when you lock a full recipe or several recipes, it is really verbose. I would like to sort tasks alphabetically as in bblock-S output. I really want to improve the note warning messages that can be really verbose if you lock several recipes. And add documentation for bblock, but also for these variables. I would like also to find a user-friendly way to use build stat and graph dependency with bblock to directly spot long-running tasks. There is a wiki page to try to investigate build time, and this can be a step forward, to know, okay, this task is really long-running, and can I lock it using bblock? That can be useful. And most important, I really want to have feedback and contributions from you and the community to improve the tool and use it. Just a word from Richard Purdy about bblock. I see this as a key thing in the project's future. It ties into other pieces like the bitbake setup change, reworking ESDK, and more. It also leads into improving the project's usability. So I do believe that bblock will have an important future for the Yocto project, so I will encourage you to use it and give some feedback. And a last word to conclude this presentation, and before doing my live demo. I see bblock as a kind of modern superhero, because you will help Yocto developers, so you, in several ways. So first, obviously, it will help you to save your time by avoiding unnecessary compilation during development phase. But it can also help you to save your job by increasing your productivity and makes your manager happier. Wait for it. It can also save your life by reducing your coffee consumption. But you will also have less naps, so yeah, not sure. And you can also save the planet by reducing energy consumption. So yeah, modern superhero. So in one word, just use it. I still have a couple of minutes, so I would like to try a live demo. Hopefully it will work. Can you see? Or maybe I should increase the... Do you see it, or should I increase it? It's fine? Okay. So I prepared two windows here. First one, I'm running with a QEMU x86 machine, and the second one to show you how bblock with lock recipes in architecture-specific way. I have another terminal where I will build for a QEMU ARM machine. I will use BC, as you can imagine. So let's try to build BC first to see if it is already built. So it should be. So nothing will be done. OK, nice. Now let me lock BC. So bblock BC. So a single command. And it takes a few seconds to run. I can dump the generated file using the dump switch, bblock. And here it is. So it is a bit verbose because the screen is small and there are a lot of tasks. But you can see that you have only the BC task and all BC package and all the tasks. And now I will try to change the body of do compile tasks for BC. Okay, just me update it with some. I do like to add a printf and echo statement, you know. Hello. And then we'll try to build BC again. And I should see the note and warning messages I show you in the slides. So I have the note now and the warning saying that the new signature is computed to be something, but the signature is actually locked to something else. And you can see that nothing was built and everything is done. And if I look at the bblock file, you can see that it is locking recipes for this architecture. So if I go in the QEMU ARM window and I try to build BC again, it will build BC because it is not locked for this recipe, for this architecture. Sorry. So here it will build the package itself. And now I can also lock bblock BC, and I will just specify the do compile task. But I will lock it for this architecture. You can see it's really quick. And I can dump it again. And I can see the last line you can see it is locked for a new architecture right now. So if I just remove all the changes I did, let's dash. So nothing is, so I removed the hello statement. And if I rebuild it for this machine, now it will be locked. So it will not be built again. So it is reparsing everything because I updated the bitbake variables with variable 1 and 2 and 3, by the way. And now it should rebuild every BC recipe, hopefully. Come on. Here it is. And now it is building. Wait, it is not building because it is still locked. Yeah, it is still locked, sorry. But why? This is a demo presentation live. Okay, I can unlock it. bblock, sorry, bblock -r. Okay, bblock -r to remove everything. So I can just dump again the file. It is now empty, and if I rebuild, it will now rebuild or not if it is already in the S state. But I removed the note and warning. So here it is. Thank you for, yeah.
If you say R removes everything, that's everything for the current architecture, right?
Sorry?
You said -R removes all the locks?
Yeah, all the locks.
But all the locks
From all architecture, yeah.
all architecture.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Remember, we have a recording and you have live people.
So the question was, -R, does it remove everything or everything for
Everything
this
for
architecture?
everything for everything.
So adding is just for the architecture, but removing is
Yeah. For now, yeah.
for all architectures. Okay.
You can submit a patch if you want.
I have one question, like regarding this looking, like sometimes in the recipe you have the option to do fetch, no stamp, and it will rerun forever. Whose will be the dominant here? Like if you specify in your recipe the do fetch or do compile with no stamp.
I did not try that. That's
Okay.
a good question.
Yeah.
I should definitely try.
Okay. Thanks. Maybe because this is like for if you're using always the auto revision and you would like to make sure that you can rerun, it's good to know like which one will be dominant, if they can interact with each other.
I guess if you're using no stamps, you don't want to use bblock. So that may be the reason why I did not test it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Question here.
So is the main use case read-only root file systems? Or because I guess in your Python example, you would just use bitbake to generate the package, right? If you have a read-write root file system and then...
Yes, that can be yes, that's a use case, yes.
Okay. Are there other use cases?
Yeah,
would...
for example, I mean, Yocto developers often work on Python recipe or Rust recipe, you know, and when you're doing some changes to Rust, for example, Rust recipe, you don't want Rust native recipes to be rebuilt and all the package depending on that. So you just lock Rust native recipe and you can work. So you don't have even to use a target. You can just make sure that your changes make your image still build. So you do your development phase with Rust, and then you can switch over to Rust native, and you lock Rust, and you unlock Rust native. You know, so
it's built to build Rust and all the things which depend on Rust.
Yeah, and avoid rebuilding Rust native and all package depending on it. Same thing with Python or.
Yeah, not just in this specific example, you could deploy just Python, right?
Yeah,
You don't need to
yeah.
lock it. And
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah, sure. But it was for the fun demonstration. Hopefully it was fun, but
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Just 1 second, because on your question, we have an online contribution from Richard, and he says, no stamp should win. I quote.
thank you, Richard.
I have two questions. The first one is the warning you showed about the locked recipe. Is it shown every single time you run with bake or only the first time?
No, it is shown every time, so it can be really verbose.
Yeah, because you can easily forget that you locked the recipe.
Yeah, so this is the reason why we wanted to have some warning messages and note messages to avoid forgetting about it. But it can be really verbose, so I need to find a way to be less verbose, but still have something to remind the user.
Yeah, and the second question is it difficult to backport to Kirkstone? Does it require some, let's say, a lot of backporting or not?
So it should work on Kirkstone, and it's just a Python script, so you can just copy it on Kirkstone.
Yeah, but you said you had to contribute upstream to scar the gap certain things like determining a signature for a single recipe.
Sorry,
For a single task, sorry.
I didn't get your question.
You said that you had to contribute upstream the possibility to get the signature for a single task.
Yeah.
And that was the basis of the question, that perhaps it would be difficult to backport, so because Kirkstone might be missing that.
No, I'm not. I don't think it will be too hard to backport. At least right now, with the option we have, you can run it on Kirkstone.
Okay, thank you.
Which one? Are they there?
The live stream, I don't get the link.
Ah, okay. I was so scary, he forgot the question. We technically have room for 1.5 more questions. Otherwise, this will be the actual planned coffee break now. No more questions? Oh, okay, he remember.
No, so if you want to backport it, I guess you can, but I think the stance of the project on this is to not add new features to LTSs and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't see this coming to Caxton, except if you fork Pocky and you know what happened, or what Ross said in the earlier talk, so up to you.
Make up your mind.
No, actually, you also figured out that the wiki.yoctoproject.org is quite outdated. We don't maintain it, so it's up to you to do it. But the best thing is actually to add this documentation to the official documentation, which is docs.yoctoproject.org. So if you find a way to contribute this, it would be nice. Obviously, you can also update the wiki. That's nice. Then maybe we want to document the 6 state, like those very long variables. But I don't know what's the stand of the project of this on this, because there are some internal variables that we specifically do not want to document, because we don't want people to manually change them. So bblock would be an exception, obviously, because it's a wrapper around this. But yeah, so please send patches.
Yeah.
And thank you for bblock. It's quite interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.